Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing the level 100 guide to Viper. If you've only just unlocked the job, then you can go and check out my quick start guide for level 80 if you don't want to know all of the extra information that you get going from 80 to 100. But if you're just curious about 100 or you've already gotten the job that far, then I'm going to be covering everything that you need to know to play Viper at level 100. I'll go over the job gauge, how that works, I'll go over all the different skills and abilities, and then at the end of the video I'll also show you the tentative opener that people have come up with so far, because of course it is a new expansion, it is a new job, so not everything is set in stone just yet. But let's get started with our two job gauges. The top gauge that we have is the Twin Blade gauge, which I'll talk about second. The bottom half is the Serpent's Offering gauge. This one is very simple, you just fill it up by using your combos, and then once you got 50 gauge, you can press Reawaken, the skill right here, which is going to basically put you into your burst mode, and then you just go through the burst mode, and that is essentially it. The 5 diamonds on the bottom half of the gauge correspond with the 5 GCDs that you need to press in order during your burst. So if you accidentally press the wrong button, you can use the 5 diamonds on your gauge to kind of see where you need to continue. So if you press 1, 2 and you accidentally press 2 again, you then see that there's 2 diamonds left, which means you need to press 4 and 5 to finish at least the last part of your combo with the enhanced potencies that you get from hitting everything at the correct timing. The top half of your gauge is again split in 2 parts. You have the Twin Blade part and you have the Rattling Coil stacks. Now you can't really see it that well, but I'm going to hit a skill real quick to get a Rattling Coil. Now you can see that one of the diamonds is red, which means I have 1 Rattling Coil stack. This stack gives you access to Uncoiled Fury, which is a special ranged attack that deals bonus damage. So Viper can stack up to 3 of these, meaning that if you have a fight where there is some melee downtime, you can use these Rattling Coil stacks to basically keep up your uptime on the boss without losing any damage and having to resort to using your normal ranged attack, because Viper has a normal ranged attack as well. The other part of the gauge then, the Twin Blades, this is going to be guiding you through your normal 1-2-3 combo. And the reason why that's important is because the final hit of your 1-2-3 combo will always buff a different final hit in your combo every time that you use it. And there are 4 different ones over here, so you kind of want some guidance to get there, because otherwise it might be kind of difficult to learn this class. So our 1-2-3 combo, it's always going to start with either Steel Fangs or Dread Fangs. Steel Fangs just does damage, Dread Fangs applies our debuff, which makes us deal more damage to the target, goes to 20 seconds, and then when you use it a second time, it stacks all the way up to 40 seconds maximum duration. After this is used, the first hit, doesn't matter if it's Steel Fang or Dread Fang, your action is going to change into Hunter Sting and Swift Skin Sting. Hunter Sting on the 1 button, Swift Skin Sting on the 2 button, if you placed Steel Fangs on 1 and Dread Fangs on 2. Which I'm going to be referring to that a lot, by the way, so kind of follow along with that, I guess. Hunter Sting is going to increase your damage dealt, Swift Skin Sting is going to increase your swiftness, so you're going to go faster, auto attacks, skills, that kind of stuff. Hunter Sting will then combo into Flanking Strike and Flank's Bane Fang, both side positionals. Swift Skin Sting will combo into Hind's Skin Strike and Hind's Bane Fang, both back positionals. A flanking action will always buff a back action, and a back action will always buff a flank action. So you're always going to be switching between the damage buff and the attack speed buff. You're always going to be switching from flank to back. So how does that then look on your job gauge? Well, the first time that we press any skills, we're actually just going to have both of our handles light up, because we don't have a buff yet. So I'm just going to quickly press a thirst action in the combo string, and now we are back to 0. Now, if I use my first hit in the combo, you'll see that one of the handles lights up. It's going to be the left one here that's glowing red. This corresponds with my 1 button, so I'm going to press it again. And then now, the left handle is lighting up blue again, which means I need to press 1 again, and there we go, finish the combo. Now the second time that we start our combo again, you can now see that the right handle is glowing red, which means I press 2. Now the left handle is glowing blue again, which means I press 1. That is all there is to it. If you put your Steel Fangs button on 1, that's the left side of your gauge. The Dread Fangs button, I put it on 2, it's going to be the right side of the gauge. So every time left lights up, you press 1. Every time right lights up, you press 2. That's all there is to it. So as you can see, I'm just going to press it. I see 1. I see the right side. I press 2. I'll just do my positionals as well real quick. Every time you come from the attack speed buff, you go to the back. Every time you come from the attack damage buff, you go to the flank. and then you just go from there. And every time that you press the final hit in your combo, you are also going to be getting access to your off-global cooldown called Death Rattle, which is going to be on this off-global cooldown right here called Serpent's Tail. So that's how your 1, 2, 3 basic combo works. The first time you use it, just press it in whatever order. From there on out, you want to make sure that you keep up your Noxious Gnash, so you want to make sure that you keep that up, and then you just follow along to the gauge. If it's glowing on the left, you press 1, if it's glowing on the right, you press 2, and that is all there is to it. When you hit the third combo, make sure you press the off-global cooldown, and that's it. Then we still have another special GCD, which is going to be our Dreadwinder over here. This is a 40-second cooldown charge action, stacks up to 2 times, and this will grant us access to essentially everything that we need by just using the Dreadwinder combo. So Dreadwinder itself, I'll pull up the action button real quick here. Dreadwinder itself is going to apply our debuff on the target, and then it grants us the ability to use Hunter's Coil and Swift Skin Coil. Hunter and Swift, you might remember those names. Hunter gives us a damage buff, Swift gives us an attack speed buff. Hunter's is from the flank, Swift is from the back. After we use these 2 skills, we also get a combo action, just like with our Serpent's Tail right here, but this time it's going to be on Twin Fang and Twin Blood. When we use Hunter's Coil, it's going to go Twin Fang into Twin Blood. When we use Swift Skin Coil, it's going to go Twin Blood into Twin Fang. So I'll show what that looks like. So we use Dreadwinder to apply our damage over time debuff, or well, our damage debuff. Then from the flank, we do the Hunter's one. From the back, we do the Swift Skin one. And then we press R2 off global cooldowns as well. So if you look over here to Alt 5 and Alt 6, whenever I press Hunters, I go 5, then 6. Whenever I press Swift, I go 6, then 5. That is how that works. This is also a skill that grants you your Rattling Coil stacks, so you use this, and as you can see I now have 3 Rattling Coil stacks. Rattling Coil itself also functions kind of the same as Hunter's Coil and Swift Skin Coil. It's a ranged attack, and whenever I use it, you'll see that my 2 Twin Fang and Twin Blood buttons are lighting up. It's gonna go into Twin Fang and then Twin Blood, so as you can see 1 and then 2, to get the enhanced potencies on them. So 1, 2, that's kind of what that looks like. And this is also a ranged AoE attack, so you can use this in your AoE combos as well. When it comes down to AoE, it's kind of the same as your single target. You've got Pit of Dread, which is also again charged action, gives you access to damage buff, attack speed buff, and when you use that, you also get access to those same 2 off-global cooldowns that you were pressing in the single target combo, so exactly the same. And when it comes down to your normal AoE attack as well, you have one that just does damage into attack damage buff, into just damage off global cooldown. You've got one that applies your debuff, attack speed buff, just damage, and then off global cooldown. And then the third hit just alternates. There's no 4 buttons this time around, there's just 2. So they're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2. Just follow along with the gauge again, or just look at your hotbar because they will be glowing as well. Then we still have 2 things to talk about. We have our burst, as you can see my gauge is filled up to 100, which means I can use it twice. And we have Serpent's Ire. It is your 2-minute skill, which is going to grant you a Rattling Coil stack and a free use of Reawaken. So basically every 2 minutes you get a free usage of your burst buff because of this, but you'll still want to have around 50 gauge or more so that you can use your burst mode twice per burst window. The way how it looks is fairly simple. As I mentioned before, you want to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but between each hit you still want to use your Serpent's Tail attack as well. So we press Reawaken, all of our buttons have now changed into our Reawaken buttons, and then we go 1 OGCD, 2 OGCD, 3 OGCD, 4 OGCD, and then 5, which finishes off the combo. Very flashy, very fast, a lot of off-global cooldowns to press, looks pretty cool. And that is basically all there is to playing Viper. When it comes down to your 1, 2, 3 combo, the first time you just press whichever one you want, and then you're gonna be getting your first combo, essentially, or your buff, and then you just follow along with the gauge on the screen. Again, if the left side lights up, you press the 1 button, if the right side lights up, you press the 2 button. Make sure you keep your debuff applied. Right side I press 2, right side I press 2 of global cooldown. I don't need to refresh the debuff, so I press 1. Left, left, so I press 1 twice. and then we go right, so I press 2, left I press 1, of global cooldown, and that's all there is to it. So I guess to round out the video, all that is left is for me to just quickly showcase the tentative opener that people have come up with. So I'm just going to quickly switch jobs so that I can reset all of my gauges. And then essentially this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be applying our debuff, we're going to be applying our attack speed buff, and then we use our Dreadwinder, and then we just go full on burst mode onto the boss. So apply the debuff, apply the attack speed buff, then we use our Dreadwinder. Also make sure you use Serpent's Ire so that you get that free usage of Reawaken. Done with our combo, so Reawaken now, and then we just go completely ham on the boss. We are now finished with our combo. I'm gonna finish my combo string, use our Death Rattle, and then we can use 2 Uncoiled Furies towards the end of this. And then we can use our Dreadwinder again to just again get some extra damage. And then here you want to save this 1 stack of Uncoiled Fury to make sure that you always have a ranged action ready for when you need to disengage from the boss. And then from here on out, you're just following along with your job gauge, going from flank to back, from flank to back, and then just follow along either left or right button depending on what the job gauge tells you to press. And then of course, as you can see, I also have my Reawaken ready again, so I can just go and use that. You just want to make sure that you have 50 gauge saved when you go into your 2-minute burst, but outside of that, you can always use it once every 2 minutes in between that, sometimes twice, depends on the state of the fight. Make sure you don't overcap your Dreadwinder, and then of course you also don't want to overcap your Uncoiled Furies, so make sure you weave those in between every now and then as well. Go left, we go right, finish with the OGCD, we go right, finish with the OGCD. Now I've got 50 gauge again as well, but I'm going to be saving it for my 2-minute buff, which is coming up soon. So I'll just wait until we get there. And then again, flank positional, back positional. Can just use an Uncoiled Fury here if I want, because I'm going to get one back anyways from Serpent's Ire. Do some more normal combos. Gonna be reapplying our combo string here, and then we can Reawaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we can get them back again over here by using our Dreadwinder combo, and then we can Reawaken a second time. You probably want to use the Dreadwinder before the 2-minute buff so you can get like more of your burst into it. But it's kind of what it looks like. It's kind of how you play Viper. I might not have done the 2-minute buff the most optimal way, but that is kind of what it looks like. If you have any more questions about the class, then feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you. But for now, hope you enjoyed Dawntrail, and I'll see you in the next one.